Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to weave your strips for your seamlessly woven tote. Now you've already fused and sewn them and pinned them perpendicular to one another. Then you're going to use a large surface, and it's best if you use either your dining room table or a large cutting mat. Now this one is particularly nice because it does have a 45-degree angle line so that I can line up my first two weaving strips, line up one side of the weaving strips on this line so that I know all the other ones are at a 45-degree angle. Now you're going to start by placing this set of strips again, on one side on that 45-degree line, or if you're on a dining room table, just lay it down on the table. Slide this strip in on top of it, these two strips on top of it, these two strips on top of it, and then finally just slide these two strips on top. They'll nest right into each other, and what you'll want is you want your pins lining up. You'll want all your strips lying right next to each other, not on top of each other, but nice and even. Now, the first part of our weave is going to be in this little square right here. Now, we've already anchored two sides of that. I'm going to go ahead and anchor the other two corners of this square. Now, I'm going to go ahead just so that you know, this is the inside of the bag, and then we'll be actually weaving from the outside. So when we pin, I'm going to pin from the outside, but first I need to figure out if this strip should be on top or on bottom in the weave. So we're trying to determine where this strip should be. So right here, it's over this rust-colored strip. It's going to be under this one, over this one, under this one, over this one. So this should be pinned so it is underneath this strip. Now, again, I'm going to pin it from the other side because that will be the outside, and we'll be able to pull the pin off easier. We're going to do the same thing with this corner right here. Now we've got to determine whether we're going to place the pin, whether we're going to place the strip on top or on bottom. Now this rust-colored strip is on the bottom here. It'll be on the top here, bottom here, top here, bottom here, top here. So the way it is positioned is correct. And I am going to reach over and just pin that from the back. I'm also going to take these pins out, and I'm going to move the pins on these two corners, just this corner and this corner, to the back. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to make sure the strips haven't shifted, and I'm going to remove these center strips, these center pieces. Now I am going to weave in just this area right here. So I'm going to lift up, trying to keep that first strip in place, and weave that in. Now I'm going to lift up this one. I'm holding on to it nice and tight in the center, and I'm going to weave that strip in. Now you'll have plenty of time to straighten out your weave as we go, but this is just a beginning. So pull that out and weave it in. Oops. Pull this one out and weave it through. And on this last piece, I'm not going to play with this one, but I'm going to play with these two right here. One needs to go underneath, and then this one needs to go underneath. Okay. So now we need to weave this upper part. So I'll do the same thing. I'll pull this one back, weave it underneath, pull this one back, weave it under and over, pull this one back, weave it under and over, under and over and under, and tuck them right up next, close to each other. And then the last strips, again, the same as I did on this end. There's only 2 strips that need to be woven on this last strip, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Just pull this one out, weave it over, and pull this one out, and weave it over. So now you want to make sure that you're still fairly tight and that you're lined up with this 45-degree angle, if you've got one. If not, that's okay too. So this is pretty tight. All the strips are sitting nice and neatly next to each other. So the next step is we're going to continue the weave, but we're going to be using a box as a form. Now you can use this box. It's a large flat rate priority box that I've already mailed something in. So it's a used box. I'm recycling it. 12 by 12 by 6 inches deep. So place that, you're going to place that on these 2 rectangles, this one and this one. That's where the corners are going to be. So I am going to place it like this. I'm going to move out of the way so the cameraman can show both sides. And now I am going to use the box as my form. I am going to take these 2 strips right here on the outside and weave them up at a 45-degree angle on the box. Pin right through the box. And I'm going to take this strip and weave it up. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now if you're not perfectly at a 45-degree angle, that's okay, because again, we'll have plenty of time to adjust these. I'm going to weave that up, and I'm going to weave this one up. Now the next step is you're going to fold this piece up, and you're going to pin it. Now you can see now why we decided to pin from the outside. Then you're going to take these other strips and pin it to the side. You're going to pin that one to the side. So you're going to pin 2 to the side here, and then you're going to pin these 2 to the side. And I'm going to step back so that the cameraman can actually show you both sides. Now these final 2 strips that are right here will actually go all the way around to the back. So I am going to just take this and turn it so that I can pin those to the back. So I'm going to take the first strip on one side, pin it to the back, take the second strip, pin it to the back, take the first strip from the back side, pin it to the back, and take the second strip and pin it to the back. Now we're going to do the same thing to these strips that we did to the front. We're going to start with these two side strips. We're going to pull one up. Now it is going to sit right on top of this strip that the top strip that we pulled around to the back. The second one will be on top of the second strip that we pulled around to the back. And we're going to do the same on this side. This will be on top, and this will be on top. Now we'll fold this up and just roughly pin that in place, right there. We're going to do these two strips to the side. Now you don't have to add any more pins because you've already got pins in from your strips that you did on the front side. So pin it around, overlap and pin it, overlap and pin it. And then again on these two strips we'll do the same thing that we did to the front. Just wrap these around to the back, like that, and pin. Wrap this one around to the back, and pin. Now it's not going to be perfect right now, but this is going to help you start your weaving process. So pin that one, and pin that one. The next thing that you want to do is you're back on the front and you're going to start weaving these strips in. Now I like to weave in one at a time because you'll have to adjust them as you go. Some of the strips are way long and that's the way that they're wrapped around, and some are a little bit shorter. Your bag is actually going to be about this tall, so it'll be shorter than the box. So we look to have plenty of space down here. If you need to adjust one of these strips, you're going to unpin it from the front, unpin it from the back, and just tug on it a little bit and move it all the way through. But if you've done it correctly, you should be able to just weave these strips in. You may have to move them just slightly so that they're not overlapping each other, but you'll just weave them in. So I'm going to weave a couple of them for you. I'm going to start with this one right here, which is the first strip that we folded up. I'm just going to pull it out from the bottom. Now this strip is underneath right here. So we need to pull it all the way down, and we're going to weave it over the next strip, under this strip, over that strip, under this strip. And this is probably one of the more difficult strips to do because it is a long strip. It runs the whole length of the bag, or the whole diagonal length of the bag. Under that one, over that one, and then under that one. So I think we've got that one right. Then I'm just going to leave this one for now, and I'm going to move up to the next one. Let's just slide that down just a little bit. So I'm going to take this one right here. Now this is under here. It needs to go over this one right here. So it's underneath here. So I'm going to pull that all the way back, and then just weave that in. weave it under, and pull it tight, weave it over, weave it under the next strip, weave it over, and then on this one right here, you're going to pull it nice and tight, weave it, and pin it. So you'll go one by one all the way around the bag. You'll do this strip next, this strip next, this strip, until you've gotten all of your strips woven in. Just do it one at a time and pull them nice and tight as you go, so they'll be nicely woven in. It will create an interesting pattern after you've got it woven. While the bottom of the bag is going to be a typical checkerboard, the sides are not, and it makes it quite an interesting pattern. That's it.